people worry, though, that someone who can so catastrophically misread what you say now was a perfectly benign conversation could be in Downing Street with authority to make decisions literally of life and death and might also get the wrong end of the stick?
But Jeremy, I do get the big calls right. Look, let's go back to the global financial crisis. Let's be absolutely honest about where we are.
Can we come to that in a second, Prime Minister? Because
but I think you've got to deal with some of the big issues.
Duffy's, okay, let's talk about Mrs. Duffy's concerns.
You can if you like, but
I'm not asking you anything more about how you behaved. I'm asking you about her concerns about immigration.
Totally
they were legitimate, you say.
Legitimate concerns because people are worried about immigration.
Yes, they are.
And the frustration that I've got is that I've introduced a point system which is based on the Australian model. That point system is actually banning unskilled labour from coming into this country from outside the European Union. It is also, as you know, numbers of skilled and semi-skilled workers who will come into the country will be limited as well under this system. And I feel that we have taken action through the point system that will restrict the numbers of people coming into the country, while at the same time, let's be honest, we've had to build up skills in a number of key areas, care assistants, chefs, but also teachers and doctors and nurses, engineers, and we're building up these skills. So I see the principle here that as we build up the skills of our own people, then we'll be able to cut down the number of people coming in under the Australian point system.
We downloaded this list this morning. This is people who are free to come into this country, and it includes care assistants, chefs, butchers, engineers, science teachers, sheep shearers. I mean, we are still inviting them in, because in 13 years of Labour government, people haven't been taught to do these jobs.
Jeremy, I actually said in all the speeches I've been making that we are going to restrict the number of care assistants and chefs coming into the country. I announced the dates by which we will do that. I've also said that we're going through this list of occupations to see how we in Britain can meet the skills needs. But what I wouldn't do, Jeremy, is put an artificial cap on the number of migrants coming into this country, because there's a lot of businesses who want to recruit people who they can only get from abroad at the moment.
Indeed, you've no idea really how many people have come into this country, have you?
I think we know under the point system the numbers who are being reduced, and I think by the end of...
Since 1997, how many foreign people have come to live in this country?
Well, we know what the figure is for the numbers of people who have come. There are 1 million people from the European Union who've come to live in Britain over the last period of time, but there's also 1 million British people who've gone to live in Europe.
Well, according to the Office of National Statistics, there have been 4,927,000 non-British-born people who've entered the UK since 1997, and 2,925,000 more are currently here.
You will have, that's from the European Union, you're saying?
No, that's from the Office of National Statistics.
Yeah, but you know, we are part of a European Union.
These are non-British.
Yeah, but hold on. We are part of... We've got a lower proportion of non-British citizens in our country than America has, or Australia has, or Canada has, or other countries. This is a mobile world, and you've got to accept that. Jeremy,
at what point in your 1997 manifesto, 2001 manifesto, or 2005 manifesto did you say this change was going to happen to our country?
We are part of the European Union.
All right.
It is inevitable that people will come in from the European Union, but we will send people out to the European Union if they want to go there, and they are free to work in the countries of the European Union. That, I'm afraid, is what being part of the European Union is about, and there's no party at this election, Conservative, Liberal or Labour, that's proposing to end the migration that comes from the European Union. Let's be clear, there is no party proposing to do that. As far as outside the European...
People have got a legitimate beef that they were misled, haven't they?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so, Jeremy.
Before Poland and the 9 other countries joined the EU, the prediction from the Home Office was that there would be a net inflow of 5,000 to 13,000 migrants. In fact, 500,000
But do you know that...
Were you incompetent or dishonest?
Do you know that a quarter of the people who came here in 1998 are still here, and 3/4 have left? Do you know that 100,000 Eastern Europeans left to go back last year? Do you know that there is a mobile labour force in this country, and sometimes there are people who come in to do particular jobs or come to universities and then leave? But I tell you, Jeremy,
your forecast was completely wrong.
Sorry, I don't make the forecast. I don't make the forecast.
Oh, so that's also somebody else's fault.
No, Jeremy, please. If I started making forecasts, you would say that I was trying to take away the independence of the Statistics Office.
This is the best resources of the state.
Yes, but Jeremy...
Predict 13,000 and get 500,000.
Jeremy, I think this is becoming a conversation where you're not appreciating the point system that we've introduced. The point system is working. The point system is working now, but after the event, when you're talking about it, the European Union The Conservatives are not proposing to restrict immigration from the European Union.
We've talked to the Conservatives and the Liberal Democrats.
Nor are the Liberals proposing
We're interested
to restrict.
in what you have done and what you will do in future.
And Jeremy,
there
I'm
has
telling
been
you,
a massive increase, and now you're proposing to reduce it a little bit.
Net inward migration is falling. And the reason it's falling
Having
is because
risen astronomically.
it has risen, but not astronomically. It has risen,
Well,
but
you're
it is
unable
now
to tell me
falling.
by how many.
Because you have given me figures
The Office for
that
National
come from the-
Statistics say it's nearly 3 million.
Yes, but there are people coming in and there are people leaving. By the end of this year, we will be counting people out and counting people in. We have introduced an e-border system that will come in by the end of the year. You're going to have biometric visas to come into this country and ID cards for foreign nationals. Look, I have done everything in the last 2 years when it's been my responsibility to do it, to introduce a new point system in this country. And the point system is based on the Australian point system, and that point system is now working to restrict unskilled workers coming into this country, and soon will restrict skilled and semi-skilled workers coming into this country. And I do think, Jeremy, we should get the balance right in this debate, because there is a diversity in Britain that we benefit from. It's actually one of the reasons we won the Olympics, that people see London as one of the great diverse centres of the world. But equally at the same time, we have to control and manage immigration, and that is exactly what I'm doing with the point system. And the point system is now working to restrict immigration into this country, and a number of selected occupations will come off the list of allowable and permissible migrants to come to this country over the next year or two.
Let's look at